YouTube, hello and welcome to another episode of Higurashi. Last time, um, we had some good talk with Natsumi and Tomoe talking about her past, the bullying. Also, Tomoe finally roasting the mom and some of her parenting skills. It's not amazing. Also, sorry, the volume was cranked to the wazoo there. Um. It's nice to see her get put in her place a bit, though. She's a very frustrating character sometimes. But yeah, let's just continue on. Keep the good times rolling, though it's not really good times. It's kind of sad. But you know, it's still cause for celebration. Natsumi did not kill her parents. She didn't kill anyone in this arc, and she beat her crazy self in a really cool battle. So, but we're just we're going off that, and I'm interested in seeing where this takes us. Really, it was just a coincidence. I just happened to head up to the hospital rooftop to kill some time until my father finished a meeting, and on the way back. Oh, this is right, of course, Chisato. I forgot about that part. So Chisato also ran in, kind of talked with Natsumi, um, genuinely feeling pretty sorry for well, they didn't actually talk about Chisato being kind of snaky, but just generally worried about Natsumi, and she revealed that she knew about Natsumi's illness and stuff like that. And now she's just explaining how she overheard it and the Hinamizawa stuff. I just happened to head up to the hospital rooftop to kill some time until my father finished a meeting, and on the way back. As I stepped down from the rooftop staircase and out onto the floor, I noticed the back of a familiar hairstyle down the end of the hallway, so I followed her. And of course, I knew it was Natsumi, so I was about to call out to her as bright as always. But when I suddenly saw the signpost on the wall, I choked down my words and kept quiet. Because the department listed on the label there said psychiatry. It was then that I remembered the top floor of the hospital was the psychiatric ward. I shook the suspicions out of my head, but honestly at the same time I was half worried and half curious. So after Natsumi finished her exam, I had the doctor on duty show me her medical chart on the pretense of asking if I could help in some way. Seems a little unethical, but I guess she is the daughter of the hospital's chairman, so... But I came to horribly regret that decision as soon as I learned the contents, and I felt ashamed of my shallowness for making light of mental illness. I told myself over and over, I'm supposed to be the daughter of a hospital director. Natsumi's medical condition was far more than mere stress and anxiety. It was a serious, weighty mental disorder. German?
簡単に言ってしまえば不安神経症のようなものですよ。
Isn't this shit supposed to be confidential?
大勢の人がいる中で
I guess she's
突
already
然不
showing
安
it,
を
so
覚え
it's the
て
point.
動悸やめまい、息切れを起こして過剰な恐怖感に怯えるといった症状が特徴です。
The symptoms are often found in people who face unreasonable expectations or are forced to work beyond their limits. It's especially serious when the person in question has an earnest personality because it makes treatment difficult.
ですが、一般の方々は心の疾病に対しての認識がとても低い。
Especially in the 1980s, that is true.
消極的な言動を見て
Even
も
in North
気合
America.
が足りないとか難局を乗り越える心が弱いとかすぐに精神論を振りかざしてしまいます。その結果、本人がその兆候を感じても口には出せず、誰にも相談できないまま病状はどんどん悪化していく。彼女もずいぶん悪くなってからやっと病院に来たそうで、完治には相当な時間が必要ですね。
When I heard that, I finally understood why Natsumi continued acting like she felt threatened and seemed anxious about something all the time. It wasn't just about her personality or the environment she grew up in. It's because she had a deep psychological wounds in her heart. And the doctor said it was because she was subjected to bullying in her previous school.
夏美
My chest tightened and pain crept up my back. Even though she was suffering from her painful past and this illness, she kept on acting bright and cheerful without showing us any of it, carrying that burden alone. Just like my sister Tayori, she never showed any pain or signs to make me worry. She just really loved me. Even up until the moment her condition took her last breath, she truly believed in me. And yet I couldn't do anything for my sister. In fact, I ended up betraying her trust. Right then, I decided I'd become a true friend for Natsumi. I'm sorry, but again, I still can't get over the Chisato betrayal, man. That shit was crazy. I can't believe they didn't bring it up, because I feel like Natsumi had a right to be mad unless she was just imagining it. Or like twisting it because she was high level on the Hinamizawa syndrome. But Chisato was like, yo, Natsumi might like sacrifice you in Hinamizawa. I'm like, what is she talking about, dude? Anyways, no matter what happened, I'd be on her side. And I swore to myself that this time I'd never abandon the people I love. Yes, I'm sure this is the redemption God sent me for the sin I committed so long ago. I abandoned Kaori. I should have been able to save her, but I couldn't do anything for that girl. But now I can. I can support Natsumi until she's healthy again. I might be making some big assumptions here. And really, I have to wonder if this is what Natsumi even wants. Hold on, I beeped. Alright, perfect. But even so, it's fine. Rather than look back and regret what I wasn't able to do, I think it would be better to look back on the things I've done to bring her happiness.
だから私はあんたが幸せな気分になって
Oh, okay.
少しでも病気の回復になればってアキラの応援もした
Let her cook a bit. We're getting to the issue.
そのために手助けできることなら何でもやろうと思った私がアキラのことをどう思ってたかなんてあんたが笑ってくれるのなら本気でどうでもいいことだった
I'm waiting for the but because that's not true. I'm sorry. I'm not letting it go as much as I like Chisato. Even though she was already faintly aware of it, Natsumi was stunned to hear Chisato directly speak about her feelings to Akira, so she froze. She couldn't take the statement that it didn't really matter at face value. If their roles were reversed, she would never be able to accept that no matter what came in exchange. It was so much determination and resolution, and her friend was doing this for her sake.
だからアキラが夏美と一緒に
Why?
南沢へ行く
Okay,
つも
she's
りだって
explaining
聞い
it.
た時絶対に止めなきゃって思ったんだ
Why?
あんたにとっていい思い出のない場所だと知ってたしそこで病気が悪化したらそれこそ目も当てられない
Okay, if that was her intention, there's definitely better ways of explaining that. I don't think you need to lie to Akira saying, hey, I think Natsumi might try to sacrifice you in the village because it's a pretty sketchy place. She could have just said what she's saying literally right now. Unless, again, maybe Natsumi twisted it because of her mental state. That's totally possible. We've seen it before.
だから
But the thing is, they were kind of showing it, like, they were showing the room POV, then they showed Natsumi, like, listening in POV, so it felt like a POV switch, to be honest. That's why I didn't really consider that.
ひなみ沢ってさ
Oh my god.
変な噂があるんだ
I take back everything I said about Chisato. They really twisted that shit, huh? My 2-episode grudge of Chisato is now gone. I have revoked my revoking of Chisato as best side character in consorts because she's pretty sick now. Okay, so Natsumi actually just got it twisted. God damn it. Now I feel bad.
だから行くのはやめておいた方がいいんじゃないかな。
変な噂ってどんな
I can't believe I got baited. Why didn't I trust Chisato, man? Like, I feel like if it was Tamato instead of Chisato, I would actually have, like, some reason to trust Chisato. But Chisato's never done anything really that snaky. She's always been a Natsumi believer, basically.
たたりだよ。
Tamato can be a little snaky, but it's okay. I still love Tamato.
なんていうか、毎年綿流しの日に犠牲者が出るって。実際にここ数年本当に亡くなっている人がいるらしいんだ。
I told Akira that, passing on the story I heard from Mamoru-senpai, even though I only half believed it. But I figured that would be the best way to make Akira feel reluctant to go to Hinamizawa.
けど
Such a weird thing.
夏美はそんなこと一言も
I guess she didn't really want to reveal Natsumi's problems, but I don't know.
言えるわけないじゃん。自分がそこの出身だって言ったら、自分も得体の知れない連中の一味じゃないかってあんたに思われるかもしれないじゃないか。
I mean, fair point. That was literally Natsumi's thought process.
それくらい察してやりなよ。
If we don't get a snappy title for this, I'm putting Chisato Redemption Arc. But it's not even a redemption, it's just my folly. Natsumi couldn't even admit that she was being bullied in her former town. There was no way she'd be able to tell Akira she was suffering from mental illness. This was Akira. Finding about something like that would probably break his heart even more than Natsumi and leave deep wounds. Plus, she didn't want her boyfriend to know about her ancient secrets. But even so, no, precisely for that reason, I thought I had to stop the two of them from going to Hinamizawa. What if Natsumi ran into some old friends there? Or what if seeing Hinamizawa scenery triggers some terrible old memories? Natsumi would be experiencing the stress that gave her this illness all over again. The thing is, they're going to Hinamizawa too. It's like all that trauma was from Otonomiya. So I don't know, but I just maybe she could see some of her old bullies at the festival. They'd probably be there. All over again, and she'd probably keep acting like it was all okay, all for Akira's sake, enduring an even heavier burden in the process. So, in order to keep that from happening, I tried to stay calm like usual and act like I was just joking around, while desperately trying to make Akira consider going somewhere else instead. Honestly, I fully support Chisato's decision. It may not be what I would do, but it does make logical sense. Chisato's thoughts are rising, as per usual, as they should be. It was a false flag. I'm sorry if you sold your Chisato's thoughts too early. I totally take blame. Not legally, but like morally. But thinking back on it now, there's no way Natsumi could overhear something like that and not walk away thinking I was trying to slander her. Plus she was like twisting your words in her head. That's why I was running all around the city until just a little while ago, cursing my rashness and negligence, I always suck at that word, wanted to at least apologize to Natsumi.
そんな。
Yep.
そこまで私のために。なんで
Because we all love you, Natsumi.
ああ、
Especially Chisato.
すくすく偽善だよ。自己満足だよ。いつものように勝手に暴走して、親切の押し売りみたいなものさ。でも私はあんたに頼られる友達でいたかった。
Honestly, as a sign of growth, Chisato, you should also lose the pigtails and go long hair like Natsumi. I think her blonde hair looked pretty good too.
私のことを大好きって言ってくれたあんたに、私も好きだってことを伝えたかったんだ。だけど
Happy
だけど
words
言葉にして
or
そういうことを
song.
言えなかった。
Let's go.
だって言えばあんたは今のようにどうしてって私に聞くだろう。そしたら私は夏美の病気のことを知ってるってあん
This
たに
is
打ち明
so
けなきゃいけない。
heartwarming, man. Dude, I love this scene. I mean, this whole chapter's been really great. By chapter, I mean this whole arc's been great, but also this whole chapter has been really great. Because I don't think there was a chapter break after the whole Tomoe versus Natsumi struggle thing. Like, this chapter is really fucking good. And if this is, like, the end of this specific chapter on such a heartwarming note, I'm just saying, they're cooking over here. I was about to say Ryukishi. I don't know who wrote this. If anyone knows who wrote the consorts, if it's the same person, let me know, man. I feel like they deserve some respect. They're doing a pretty good job.
そして
Especially with the
あんたの過
Natsumi
去の
arc
話だけ
stuff.
じゃなく
Like all of the
私の
arcs
昔の
with
失
Natsumi
敗
and
も
friends.
全部そんなのできなくて、だから
There's no way Natsumi would be pleased to learn Chisato already knew the secret she was trying to keep hidden. Oh yeah, if she was still had the crazy side to her, she would definitely hate Chisato for that. And just like Natsumi wanted to keep her past and her illness hidden, it was painful for Chisato to remember her little sister Kaori. If she actually told Natsumi about it, Natsumi might despair, wondering if she was just a sort of replacement for Chisato's sister, which she kind of was at first, but obviously they've grown to into their own relationship. Or she might have scorned Chisato for acting so nice up until now, when she'd done something so terrible. Hold on. Alright. And even when you know something, sometimes pretending you don't know can certainly make you happier. So she didn't want to ruin things. No matter how guilty or ashamed she felt, Chisato wanted to protect the pleasant environment she and her precious friend shared, and where they were able to peacefully chat and help each other. No matter what, she had to protect it.
千里ちゃん
As the young kids of this generation would say, W friend, W Chisato.
ごめん
I'm just trying to be relatable.
謝るのは
Hug it out, guys. Hug it out.
私なんだ。あんたの友達でいたくて、あんたに好きだって言ってもらえた関係壊したくなくて、それなのに私のバカのせいであんたを逆に追い込んで苦しめて。そんなことない。
It's kind of true. But it's not like really that true. It's just a tiny factor in the whole scheme of things.
そんなこと絶
Natsumi gently placed her hand on Chisato's shoulders and shook her head. Right, if she was in pain, she should have spoken up about it. As per usual, one of the core messages of Higurashi, you know, when you're in trouble, speak with people you trust. Usually in this case it's your friend group, but I'm sure it applies to other people you trust. And I think there's a lot of real world wisdom into that. I'm definitely someone who bottles up a lot of emotions inside, which is obviously not, I'm not living by Ryukishi's words, but it's like how, like, when like the murderer gets grilled in the interrogation and they finally just release and say everything about the murder, and you're probably like looking into that and like, why are they saying that? They should have just huddled up and if they didn't want to get guilty. But like when you're holding something in, like something like honestly like Natsumi, like all that stress, being able to release it to someone, and optimally like someone you trust, obviously not like in a weird murder situation. Though I guess it kind of works the same with like Rena telling everyone her story about how she killed Tepe and Rina. It's just it's a relieving feeling. Obviously that's an extreme example, but I do feel like it's in general better to let it out. And if you can't find someone to trust, then find alternative ways to let it out. But it's always better to just communicate your problems. There's my TED talk. Even if she couldn't do that, she should have honestly expressed at least some of her doubts.
どうして佐藤ちゃん私のためにここまでしてくれるの
It's what friends are for. This Mion would do the same for Keiichi, probably.
佐藤ちゃん
Probably everyone in the friend group,
キラ
but
君
you
の
know.
ことは好きじゃないの
It's like, it's how they say bros before hoes. It's like the girl version of that. I don't know if there's a rhymey way to say it. but she could have never asked about it. She kept quiet and pretended not to know. And her reason was the same as Chisato's. Natsumi was afraid of ruining her relationship with Chisato. It's awkward. Not gonna lie, there's an awkward love triangle situation going on.
ごめんごめんなさい私こそ自分のことばっかりで佐藤ちゃんの傷に気づいていなかった佐藤ちゃんは私よりも恵まれてきっと何でもできるから私とは違うってでも
Chisato was exactly the same. Everyone's human, guys, even if you know someone, you're like, oh, this guy's so much better than me, He's probably, he has a 6-figure job, he's living the life. Everyone has, maybe not technically everyone, but definitely everyone has some stars of the past, for sure. Obviously, it's not always equal to each other, but it's good to think of everyone as humans, which sometimes is hard, especially just based on the specific person. But I think it is. I don't even want to go down the reasoning, but yeah, I think in general, it's a pretty widely accepted take. Suffering from the stars of her past and trying to escape from them, even up until today. If only she had properly accepted it.
今からでも間に合うかな遅すぎるってことないかな佐藤ちゃん
Honestly, you guys should all go to Hinamizawa. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be only Natsumi and Akira, if anything, but I really want them to meet the main friend group, man. I'm on my hands and knees begging for some interaction. The ultimate hate team, Chisato and Mion versus the Mountain Dogs. They're done. They're done.
私の友達で
Ooh, reaffirm their vows of friendship. Let's go.
いっぱい抱えてきた私の悩み聞いてもらえる
Bring
かな
Tamato in. She needs to be here too.
ずっと苦しんできた佐藤ちゃんの悩み私が聞いてあげることできるかな
Ah, my heartstrings, it's crazy in here. The two of them shed tears while tightly embracing each other, hug it out, as if to restore their earlier bond through a hug. Upon seeing that, Tomoe quietly made her way out of the hospital room and gently closed the door. Yeah, give them a room.
よかったね夏美さん
You did some good work today, Tomoe. Be proud. Now we just gotta save the village. The two of them still had many difficulties and walls they needed to surmount. Especially Natsumi's illness, which is nowhere near as easy to deal with as it sounds. It doesn't even sound that easy to deal with, to be honest. It'll certainly take a long time for her to recover.
でも
And it's still a misdiagnosis, I assume. Yeah, I mean, it is. But, the other illness they're talking about did sound like a stress-related illness. So there's probably, like, similar factors and, home remedies to keep it at bay. There's nothing to worry about. They didn't need anything at all. Because they were friends who sincerely trusted each other, who could understand one another's past scars and provide whatever encouragement they needed. Tomato wished she was in the same clique. Only 25 minutes, huh? We'll go a bit longer. Maybe even it out. I mean, to be fair, there's no way we could one-shot this whole chapter. I think put together is at least 2 hours, no? Let's see where we go now, though. Yamotai? Is he not going to show up? I don't think he showed up in this arc yet. Just as Tomoe was about to reach a stopping point in her work and thinking about going out for lunch, Yamotai suddenly called her in. What's up, bro? It's been a while.
まあ、かけたまえ。
失礼します。
It's a loud sound. Sounds like Tomoe just fucking jumped up and slammed into the chair. Or the sofa, my bad. Yamotai was standing by the window, and on his prompting, Tomoe took a seat on the sofa. There's a beautiful potted orchid sitting on the reception desk, giving the room a lovely aroma.
あの子ってこういう花とか土いじり昔から好きだったしな。
Obviously referring to Madoka. Tomoe gently touched a drooping bun. Wait, no! I actually think she's, thinking of Nagisa. This is actually, yeah, not Madoka. I thought it was Madoka because, it's his office, so Madoka would have decorated it. But I'm pretty sure it's actually Nagisa. She was the garden enjoyer. Tomoe gently touched a drooping bundle of flowers while thinking that. Oops. The soft and silky smooth texture of the petals immediately brought a smile to her face, but seeing Yamoto from behind across the room, she readjusted herself and began to don a serious expression. Uh-oh, new tech. Ninja-ki. Yamoto gazed out the window and smoked a cigarette with his back still turned toward Tomoe. Sensing the uncomfortable atmosphere, Tomoe lightly loosened her collar. This felt just like the situation half a year ago.
また移動の話か?
How? She doesn't... I'm pretty sure he doesn't have any control now.
でも今は所長にその権限はないはずだし。
You're reading my mind, Tomoe. In which case, did someone make a protest or file a complaint against her? Or maybe this is a reprimand? So many thoughts were running through her head, she wouldn't be surprised no matter what came of it.
随分とずぶとくなったものだ、私も。
Thinking that, an impulsive laugh welled up inside her. When she was sent away from Kikuchi and pulled off of detective work, she was seriously thinking about retiring thanks to the disappointment and tragedy she endured. But not even a hint of that sentiment remained today. If this was a similar request to resign, it wouldn't be too late to die fighting. Thanks to that open-minded way of thinking, Tomoe was able to broaden her horizons and achieve peace of mind.
待たせたな。
Maybe it's good news? Doesn't always have to be bad news.
さて、本題に入るか。
はい。
So, what was coming, and how should she react to it? This was Yamotai, who was probably expecting Tomoe to be shot or to shout. In which case, maybe it would be more fun if she quietly accepted whatever it was. Tomoe couldn't help but giggle as those wicked thoughts came to mind.
ん？どうかしたかね、ミナイ君。
See, I think I'm right that she's just overthinking it. Because again, it's not like he has any authority or anything over her at this point.
いえ、別に。 すみません。ご用件は何でしょうか。
実はな。
Yamote, oh, it's going to be something about their marriage, maybe? With Madoka. Yamote cut himself off there, then picked up the bundle of clipped-together documents on his desk and held it out to Tomoe. Tomoe respectfully accepted it, and without saying a word, she turned over the cover and read the text, but... I know, it's a bait. Come on, you can't fool me. I've been reading Higurashi for years. Her composure until just a moment ago was completely blown away, and her eyes were open wide in shock.
何ですかこれは。
正直君に頼むべきか
Damn,
ど
they're
うかは
dragging it.
少々迷ったのだが、もはやそうも言っていられなくてな。
Come on, they're dragging it. They're baiting us.
で、これがそ
Got
の代物
got me by the carrot on a stick.
だからって、こんな。
She was quivering. Then Tomoe's shoulders shuddered when she saw the pile laying on the desk.
こんなもん、私に依頼するな。
Oh, happy combative music. Tomoe slammed the documents down hard enough to make the potted plant shake and violently cried out. As Yamote was expecting, as Tomoe expected Yamote was expecting to cry out and be shot. Spelled out there in old-fashioned messing letterings were words like wedding and announcement. There you go. Finally tying the knot. And right beside the documents were two massive piles of postcards. That's crazy. Okay, I'd actually be pissed too. Why is he making Tomoe do that? Does she have like good calligraphy? In other words, he was asking Tomoe to do calligraphy work, writing invitations for the wedding and the reception. Shouldn't like Madoka do that or something? And of course, there is no need to say whose wedding it was. What's worse, the note at the end that said, "Clean copy, please," circled in red pen further aroused her bloodlust.
大体この日取りは何ですか。確かに私はあなたとまどかの結婚に一応賛成はしましたが、だからってこんなにもすぐに結婚式？
Oh, Tomoe. He's not getting any younger, okay?
いくらなんでも早すぎでしょうが。
とはいえ、6月に式を挙げたものは10
Is that
年前
really?
にとって幸せの象徴だそうじゃないか。
Take notes, people looking to get married. Maybe June's the month. I mean, it is a summer month, so it's a good time for an anniversary, I guess.
今を逃すと来年まで待たなければならん。ついでに大安の日が取れたとあっては少
What's
し
lucky
無理
day?
をしてでもぜひやるべきだと考えてな。
It might actually be a Japanese holiday. Japan has like a lot of weird holidays. I know they have like Water Day and Tree Day or something like that.
少し無理じゃ
My
な
dad
く
told me
もの
about
す
it.
ごく無理です。いくらジューンブライド狙いと言っても、もう今月が6月なのに。
That is, yeah, I didn't think about that. This does seem almost shotgunny in a way of how they're almost just winging it. Because I'm sure a wedding takes like, I'm not married and I haven't really helped anyone plan for a wedding, but I assume it takes like months of preparation to get all the guests, the venue, etc., the catering, the dress.
式まで1ヶ月ありませんよ。
It's pretty crazy. It was impressive that the people involved in the ceremony could accommodate that. Considering the timing, there's no need for them to accept a customer demand like that. In fact, they wouldn't even be blamed for rejecting it as something outright insane. I am inclined to agree, even though I don't really have the experience or qualifications to make a judgment on it, really. No, wait a second. Could it be? Did Yamote use his position with the police to pressure them into it? That'd be a really crazy abuse of power for like no reason.
まさかそこまでは。
But like why though?
この人なら。
After all, last time he was suspected of accepting gifts, he shut the whole thing down by saying, "I am the rulebook." He didn't quite invoke the name of God, but just saying that is beyond rational. Based. Leveraging his position for value. I can respect it. Kind of. At least it's like harmless. Words like ethics and common sense are simply deleted from the dictionary when it's convenient. That's how the man named Kaori Yamotai operated.
そもそもなんでわざわざ案内状を自前で作るんですか。
It is a little weird making them handwritten.
こんなの式場のスタッフか筆行業者に頼めば済む話でしょうが。
いや案内状の作成は自分たちでやる
What?
というのが式場側の出してきた条件でね。
That's a weird condition.
せめてこの程度の情報はやむを得なかったの。
I guess maybe because of the time restraint, they don't have time to do all the copying and stuff.
かといって外部の業者に委託すると費用もバカにならん。
I gotta imagine Yamotai's pretty well off, but I don't know how much like a chief of a police station would do.
豪邸に住んでいるおっさんが何せこいこと言ってんですか。
That kind of answers our question.
そもそも私とあなたは職務上ではともかくプライベートでは敵同士なんですからね。一体何を考えてるんですか。
おいやまあ。しかし君は私たちの結婚に賛同してくれたとまどかくんが。
賛成しても積極的に応援したつもりはね。
She's not playing. She was howling like a tiger so fiercely that her voice slipped into her dialect. No good, Tomoe. Why did he have to go so far pouring salt on the wound? It was like he was sprinkling it to purify something.
そもそも相手側の親族に案内状の筆行を頼むか普通。
I have no idea. Maybe not in Japan. I feel like it's a little like an amicable thing in North America. Especially like I feel like usually the bride's parents plan a lot, if that made sense. Like the bride does more planning for the wedding than the groom, though that might just be a stereotype. With blood running to her head and feeling a little dizzy, Tomoe barely held back the hostility bordering on murderous intent. Was he that lacking in common sense to suggest this idea, or was he intentionally harassing her? Or maybe both? Fuck it.
いやそれにしてもよーく一見して内容を読めたものだな。
Why not both?
私の字は暗号並みに解読が難しい。
I can relate to that. My handwriting is horrible.
まだかくんでも相当苦労して読み解くというのに。
少しは恥に思え。大体それだけ自覚があるのなら前々からペン習字でもやって改善させればいいじゃないですか。
It's hard, man.
私も常々そう思っているのだが、ね、
My handwriting is actually ass, and I haven't practiced it in forever, so it might be worse. But yeah, I don't know.
いつもなんとなく後回
You gotta
し
feel
に
like
近いうちになんて考えてるうちに突然必要な時がやってきてご覧のありさまだ。
Sorry, I was letting Yamotai cook. I feel like it has to be in the modern era, like in general, like the populace, the younger population's probably like worse at handwriting, because you don't have to write a lot since there's computers now, you know? It's not like the good old days, pre-computer era.
アフターカーニバルってやつよ。
くだんね親父英語やめろって。
Honestly, his pronunciation of after carnival was not bad.
本気でいじゃげるんだっぺが。
とはいえどうも世間は文字が綺麗かどうかで知性の有無を問う傾向が強くってな。
Calligraphy is a little different though. It's like a whole art thing with competitions. You don't really see like an equivalent of that in North American society. Even like cursive writing, they don't. I'm pretty sure they don't have like contests on it, but I know calligraphy is a big thing in Japan. By the way, if you're interested in calligraphy, check out the anime or the manga of Barakamon, one of my favorite stories of all time, at least in anime and manga form. Great. Either adaptation's really good.
仮にも所長である以上この低たらくでは かなえの傾聴を問われかねん。で、そんな感じでもってどうしたものかと考えていて、ちょうど君のことを思い出したわけだ。
Did you just get like a random person to do this, not
君
Tomoe?
は書道。
Oh, never mind. She's good at it. Respect.
いや、2級。まあそれでなくても最近はワープロ打ちも達者と聞いているしな。ダメかね。
書道は2段です。つか、そこでダメかなんて聞く前にもっと根本的なことを心配しろ。
The blood vessels on Tomoe's forehead were about to burst, and her fists were raised in the air, shaking. However, Yamote dismissed her rage-filled voice with a calm expression and handed the documents and the reception to the desk over to Tomoe once again.
まあこれは軽い前振りとして本題は次のページからだ。若い女性にはときめく写真ばかりで目を奪われるかもしれんが見てみてくれたまえたまえ。
は？って婚約
That's
指輪まで
wild.
私に選ばせる気か。
Why are you giving Tomoe that? I feel like that should be a discussion between the bride and groom. That seems weird. Behind the blank paper was a thick stack of color pages that seemed to be cut out of the booklet. There were many colorful photos of vibrant rings and glittering jewels. I feel like Madoka would go well with like a topaz gem. Maybe the yellow or just a diamond. Diamond or yellow. I think it matches her look if I remember right. Or like sapphire. I wouldn't go ruby or emerald, I think. Or maybe amethyst? I have no idea about gems, I'm just saying shit. But I know their colors, kinda. And what's more, just because they had the words engagement and wedding attached, the design and the price were over the top. Tomoe's heart was racing so fast that it felt like she was gonna faint from rage.
いや私もね、最
Which
初は
she
自
should.
分で選ぼうとは考えていたのだよ。だがどうもまどか君はアクセサリーの好みが結構うるさいようで、
Shouldn't they just talk about it together,
あんま
though?
り喜んでくれんのよ。それでね、ここは一つその思考をよく知っている身内に聞くのがベストだと。
バカにしてます。やっぱり私をおちょくってるでしょ、所長。
It's probably a little bit of bullying mixed in there for sure.
先にしますよ、本気で。
Don't call him a honky.
心
No
配しなく
joking.
てもいい。君も欲しいものがあれば手数料代わりにできる限
Free
り
jewelry? Wait, that might be worth it.
好きに
Tomoe needs some new
選ぶ
earrings.
いるか。
Maybe
あん
not.
たにもらうくらいなら工事現場で拾ったナットの方がよっぽどマシです。
Very funny sentence.
それはいいな。
Get her a walnut.
そして僕は死にませんとか言って結婚を脅迫するのか。
告白です。脅迫って言うな。意味合いが全然違ってくるでしょうが。
There was not even a hint of romance in this conversation. It was headache inducing. A ring being given from a man to a woman has a special meaning in the first place. It didn't matter how expensive or what brand it was. There's no way she could accept something like this. However, though still feeling enraged, she turned her eyes toward the cat lad once again. She felt just a little fascinated by the radiant jewelry. Though she didn't have a man in her life, Tomoe was in fact an ordinary woman. She couldn't quite say she wasn't interested. However, she continued to have an old-fashioned idea in that regard, so she still yearned for someone to give her a present like that.
指輪か。
It's a heavy responsibility for Tomoe, man. Tomoe had never been in a deep enough relationship with anyone to receive one. She always rejected the opportunity in order to pursue her own goals. Still, there may come a day when she's achieved her purpose, and then she might finally encounter an opportunity like that. Although she wasn't confident that day would ever actually come.
とりあえずまどか君の気に入りそうな
Show
も
me some
のはこ
pics.
の中だとどれどれどれ教えてくれたまえ。
知りませんよ。目つぶって適当なの選べばいいでしょ。
バカモン真面目に選ばんかい。
Okay, dude.
テレスケ真面目に選べか。
That'd be my response. This back and forth exchange was like a comedy duo. But strangely enough, was it showing signs of growth that the unpleasant hostile feelings were no longer flaring up like they used to, or was it a product of compromise? Even Tomoe herself wasn't truly sure. Anyways, I feel like this is a perfect time to stop. Got a little taste of the new chapter. Thank you guys for watching. Very fun episode. Little comedy at the end, little heartwarminess at the beginning. It's a perfect mix for a nice Higurashi cocktail for tonight. Man, am I a word magician? I feel like I just cooked up a really nice sentence there. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching as always. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode of Higurashi. If you aren't subbed, please consider subbing and or liking the video. That'd be cool. But yeah, regardless, thanks for watching. Hopefully I see you next time. Bye!